This is O'Neill Outside presents Realtree Radio. Welcome to the program, everyone. This is O'Neill. It's 4:06 a.m. on a Saturday morning. We have a lot of things to do to cover this morning, and I hope you'll be able to join us. It's 6 minutes after the hour, and we're going to have the radio prize package, the Words of Wisdom from Woman Williams, the Silent Hero Award, the Medal of Honor, and so many more things. And, of course, what runs the program is your calls. So we hope that you'll join us. Telephone numbers are 404-872-0750, 404-872-0750, or outside the Atlanta calling area, over 38 states with WSB and the SB Nation Radio. The number is 800-972-8255, 800-972-8255, and we hope you'll join us this morning. It is the number one live outdoor-based radio talk show in the world, and it is that because you guys listen, ladies and gentlemen, and we do indeed appreciate that. So there you are. And so if you'll plan on being in touch with us, I have my screen operating here regularly this week. You remember last week I couldn't see it very well, had to use my glasses. But that's all right. You give us a call. Springtime fishing is over. It's summertime fishing now. And you have to change, and we have some recommendations about, except for brim. You got brim right now in shallow waters. They bed during the month of June and into July, and you can catch them, and that's the second or third best tasting table fish in North America is the brim. Sunfish. Isn't it interesting that a largemouth bass is a sunfish? A largemouth bass is not a bass. Striper is a bass. So, it's amazing the number of things that you learn. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. This is O'Neill with Realtree Radio. For 2 hours on Saturday morning. Woman Williams is here. Brian and Karen Green are in the studio in Peachtree City. And Jason Byers is in Atlanta, and we've got quite a conglomeration of wires all throughout the room. And if you'll help me, I'll clean out my desk sometime this week. This is O'Neill. We'll be back. 4-872-0750, 800-972-8255. Before we get away into something more scheduled, if you're in the Atlanta area, in the southeast indeed, you owe yourself a trip to a place called the Governor's Gun Club. It's in Kennesaw, Georgia, and I did a show there the other day. Let me tell you something. That is the state-of-the-art sports shooting facility in the United States. There's nothing like it. Indoor skeet, trap, 5-stand, 300-yard rifle positions, 32 pistol lanes. It's open to the public. We've got a terrific restaurant. They cook on the Big Green Egg. You owe yourself a trip to the Governor's Gun Club. It's in Kennesaw, Georgia. Secondly, before we end up without self-promotion, if you look on Facebook right now, you'll see a book called O'Neill Outside, 65 Years in the Outdoors, People and Places Along the Way. And you can purchase this by going to o'neilloutside.com. It's right there on the home page. Just click on it. I wrote it for you guys. I think you're going to love it. It's got recipes in it from Big Green Egg and stories about people and places that I've met along the way. So if we can rustle up Woman Williams for a minute and Jason can get ready, we will have Words of Wisdom from Woman Williams, and I think here she is.
Here I am.
Yeah, here you are.
Here I am. How are you this morning?
I slept terrific for the 5 hours. 4 hours I slept.
I'm just thrilled to death to hear that because I did not.
We've got to get you solved on that deal.
Yeah, one of these days we will.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in the meantime.
All right.
Now you're going to have to listen to this one.
I always do.
You got to think about it.
Always do.
It
takes me a minute,
one.
but I always do. All right.
The roundest night at King Arthur's Round Table was circumference. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Yes.
Okay. Thieves who steal corn from a garden could be charged with stalking.
Gosh,
You never
you know
know.
why?
The math professor went crazy with the blackboard. He did a number on it. And then I'm going to do one more, and then I can throw this piece of paper away.
Okay.
Um, the professor discovered that his theory of earthquakes was on shaky ground. So there you are.
Are those through with
you pla-
those?
Yep, that was the
The
last
one I
one.
liked, I think one of the best ones was last week or the week before, and it was I couldn't figure out how this baseball was getting bigger until it
Until
hit
it
me.
hit me. Yeah. Well, my favorite one
Okay.
is the short fortune teller who escaped from prison was a small, medium, at large. You just
Well, you
kinda
got to have something to laugh at
think of it.
when you're stuck. When you're stuck in a job that you have to get up at 2:30 on Saturday mornings, you got to have
Yeah.
some fun.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
that we do.
We would. I would love to hear from you guys. I need a new fishing spot. I've got plenty of great fishing spots. I've been fortunate enough in what I do to go to an awful lot of places and witness and have some great fishing trips. But why not something new? I've been to Santee Cooper for fabulous catfish, probably the best in the world. To Costa Rica, to Canada, to the Gulf Coast for tarpon and all that. But I need a new fishing spot. Tell me your favorite. 404-872-0750 or 800-972-8255. Have you seen the new edge pattern camo from Realtree? Every time they do this, I think, how can they improve it? I mean, it's great camo, and then you get this new edge pattern, and lo and behold, it's better. And maybe it's just their advertising is better. I don't know, but it really is sharp. This edge pattern. So it's 16 after the hour. You want to start the radio prize package? Give this stuff away. Now we had a fellow a couple of weeks ago
Let me
who
find it.
didn't get his prize package soon enough. He didn't wait long enough. It takes sometimes 2 or 3 weeks to put the package together and get it to you, and he misunderstood that. He wasn't complaining. He just didn't get it yet. Because there's several new issues of magazines that go in the prize package. So sometimes Allison has to wait till the new issues come out. So anyway, we have the radio prize package, and at 17, almost 18 after the hour, let's do that. What do you say?
Okay. Yeah.
Rules?
It takes a few weeks to get all that stuff together, and we try to remember to tell people to give us a few weeks on that because it's not going to come out the next day. That's for sure.
No, it's going to be 3 weeks usually.
But there's
before
nothing
you
wrong
get it.
with being in touch and letting us know if you don't get it. We need to know that.
Absolutely.
As long as you're nice. You have to be nice. If you're not, you might not get it at all. Did that sound like a threat?
It does.
I didn't mean for it to. Okay. You must be 18 years old or older to win the prize package. And if you won a prize package in the last year, then let's let someone else have this one.
Please
and
do.
you can get a FireAid fire suppressor, a $25 gift certificate from Bass Pro Shop, a Bojangles gift card. I think it's a $10 one, and a bag. But I'm not sure what the bag is. I think it's a little bag that you carry food in, like reusable
Right.
kind of thing. I think that's what it is. A voucher for a Swaggerty's Farms product, a Georgia DNR Regulations magazine, a hat, a keychain, and a Game Check wallet keeper. A bottle of Big Green Egg barbecue sauce, a Realtree hat and decal combo, a Data Sport forecaster and moon phase clock, the latest edition of Angler Magazine, Dude Magazine. 2 cans of Fisher's Choice baits, 2 packages of Bug Band wipes, and a Bug Band wristband.
Yes.
Boy, the mosquitoes and stuff have been bad this year. You have
I
to wear
haven't-
those things all the
I
time.
haven't been
True
bitten
Turn
yet.
lures and a package of hooks. Thunder Chicken by Captain Mark Noble. And a Thorough Goods Boots hat. A Thorough Good Boots
Right,
hat.
got a box of them over
Got
there.
a whole
They're
box.
good hats.
Yep. And that's about it.
That's enough.
Yeah.
And I just noticed I did this in this segment, and I wasn't supposed to, but it really doesn't matter. This question is too easy, I understand.
Why does it matter?
I don't know. I got nervous.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have enough to talk about. The telephone numbers are 404-872-0750, or outside the Atlanta calling area and on the SB Nation Radio Network, it's 800-972-8255. This is too easy. It'll be too quick, but that's okay. I don't care.
Okay.
Last week, we talked very selfishly about how long Gail and I have been married. How many years is that? We celebrated an anniversary 2 weeks ago on June the 19th. Almost had the wrong date.
Houston
Houston
knows.
knows
And,
that-
and you said how long we have been married. How many years have we been married?
Yeah, this is years, not
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be able to figure it out. So, but anyway, we're ahead of ourselves, and I'm sure the calls will be coming in. I hope I understand how to work this screen today. They changed screens on us.
There's nothing like new technology.
404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. The SB Nation from California and Sacramento and L.A., Houston, Dallas, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Columbus, St. Louis, and all over the country, 126 SB Nation stations. And there's the calls coming in right now. Some people, even they must think they know, because that question is too easy. I'm going to come up with a really hard one next week. So you better pay attention to this show if you want to be able to win the radio prize pack. Radio prize package next week. Next week,
Yeah.
it's going to
Yeah.
be a pair of Thorogood boots.
You can give away a pair
A pair of boots. That's like a $300 boots. Okay, this
I
is
might
O'Neill.
try
We'll
for
be back.
that.
Welcome back. We have our question answered, so you can call on other things, but the answer is there. We're going to get to that in a moment. But I was wondering, we were just, Gail and I were just chatting about vacation spots, trips that you take with your family, places that you go. We're very fortunate, all of us, and you can, to be able to go to places to get away, to change life's humdrum there for a little bit. And I suppose the best vacation spot when our children were small was to go to Florida to the beach. The best vacation spot for the two of us, we're very fortunate. I used to fly a lot. So I had most of that was Eastern Airlines, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, Eastern
in the
Airlines.
beginning.
So I had lots and lots and lots of points for Eastern Airlines flights. And we used to fly to Maui. We used to go to Maui, and I can tell you, I haven't been all over the world. I won't get to. I'm too old. But I got to tell you, if there's a more paradisiac spot than Maui in the Hawaiian Islands, I certainly don't know where it is. What do you think?
I think it's a great place.
You bet. Great place. So I'd love to hear where you go. And this, I tell you what, the in Alabama, all Georgia, all across the United States, the Department of Natural Resources, state parks and recreation, those government facilities, they got some fabulous cabins and places for the family, very inexpensive. And we've stayed. We went to Seminole and stayed in the state park down there, didn't we?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Fabulous.
That was over. Actually, that was over a Thanksgiving weekend. We did that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get the prize package out of the way. It's 27 after the hour. This is O'Neill with O'Neill Outside presents Real Tree Radio, and the question was from last week's broadcast: how many years have Woman Williams and I been married? And I'm going to click on that button right there and find out who I'm talking to. Who is this, sir?
This is Jennifer.
Well, good morning. You must
Good
listen
morning.
to the program.
We do.
I'm glad, because it just won you a prize package. that'll take us a couple of weeks to get to you. So the answer to the question is,
53 years.
boy, it's been a long time. Yeah, 53 years. And you heard that by listening to the show last week, did you not?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Well, I'm glad. It was fortunate. It's worthwhile getting up this morning. Are you at work, at home, on the way in, on the way out? What do you do?
I'm on the way to work. My husband and I, we own a restaurant.
Oh, good for you. Do you mind telling me where it is and what it is?
It's the Roystonian Restaurant in Royston, Georgia.
In Royston?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, we'll have to drop by and give it a try.
Well, good deal. Come on. We'll be glad to have you.
Good deal. All right, if we have all your information, and it was worthwhile that you get up to go to work this morning, you got quite a prize package, and I appreciate your participation in the program.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You bet. Good day. Have a good one. And, yeah, these
You
people
too.
are,
Bye-bye.
you bet. These people are working. They got a restaurant they work at.
Shoot,
It's
that's
a full-time job.
Oh, yeah. That
Yeah.
really.
Talk about full-time jobs. That's full-time job.
Mhm.
Yeah. I remember there was, anyway, a couple of places that years ago I used to stay in a little motel down in South Alabama when I was in the food business. And I asked the owner, this was in God knows what little town, and he told me he wore a pistol on his side. He said, it's a full-time job.
Mhm.
It's 80 hours a week right here.
Oh gosh,
It's
yeah.
12 hours a day, 7 days a week. Anyway, there you are. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. What's your best vacation spot? Yes,
But
ma'am.
that just made me think about the. We had to drive to. I believe we went to Oklahoma to see one of your advertisers, and
Oh,
on the
yeah.
way back we stopped in. Where's Elvis from?
I don't know, Memphis.
No,
We stayed somewhere in
that little-
Mississippi, wasn't it?
that little town where he was. Tupelo, thank you.
Tupelo, yeah, thank
Tupelo.
you, ma'am.
We stopped in Tupelo, Mississippi, to spend the night,
Mhm.
and this was, I guess that's just off the expressway or something, and the little town. But we stayed in this. I think it was one of the first 2 nights this hotel. I believe a Comfort Inn had been open. It was extremely nice, and we got hungry, so we decided to go down into the little town of Tupelo to eat. And we had. Do you remember what horrible service we had everywhere we ate? It was. I mean,
On that
it was
trip, everywhere we
horrible.
ate was the first day that waitress was working.
Yeah, or something.
Or the
And, I mean,
cook.
it was. I mean, even well, that place where everybody eats breakfast.
Yeah.
I won't say the name. I mean, even in there, we had a bad experience. So we finally go into this town, and there's 2 places to eat, and one of them is just full of cars. So we decided we didn't want to wait that long. But next door, there was just a little bitty restaurant, little hole in the wall. And we thought, well, we might as well just, go in there.
We're
Because we know
hungry.
we're hungry. We're going to this is going to be horrible. And we walked in and told the guy what had been happening. And he said, well, you won't be having that experience in here. And really didn't elaborate over it anymore. And I'm telling you, that is one of the most fabulous restaurants. I believe it was a 5-star restaurant.
I believe so, too.
It was unbelievably good, and I wish I knew the name of it because it would be worth going back again.
It would be. As a matter of fact, that was a young lady looked after us.
Yes.
Okay. And she told us what we needed to order.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
She said, this is what you need to order.
And so we did.
And we did, and it was great.
It was fabulous.
That was one of those, I'm not going to throw any rocks, but I had arranged a meeting with a sponsor in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I had called the day before. We all set. I'll be there tomorrow. Or whatever the day was I was going to be there. Okay, we're confirmed. And you and I drove to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And when we got there, the guy was gone.
Yeah. Somebody wasn't happy,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Yeah, we were not happy. I was not happy.
Yeah, but boy, that food in that restaurant sure made up
that's
for
good.
a
We
whole
made a
lot
good
of
trip
things.
out of it anyway. 32
great.
after the hour.
If anybody happens to know what the name of that restaurant could have possibly been, and this has been 20 years ago, I doubt it's still
it
there.
was at
but
least 20, at
yeah,
least 20 years
but it
ago.
was just truly a little hole in the wall. Just one of those things. Oh,
But while I have a chance to get to it at 32 after the hour, we're supposed to remind everyone in Atlanta to pick up a Sunday Atlanta Journal-Constitution for in-depth news coverage and $263 in coupons.
I think that's amazing.
The,
And they work too if you remember to give them to the cashier
you
when you go through the
the
checkout line.
millennials who live in the cities now
Mm-hmm.
probably don't recall, at least Atlanta, because there used to be a morning paper and an afternoon paper.
The Atlanta Constitution was in the morning. The Atlanta Journal was in the afternoon.
That's right. Now all you do is just look at your phone.
And the motto was the Atlanta Journal covers Dixie like the dew.
Yes.
D-E-W, like the dew.
Do.
That's right.
Okay. It feels early, but it's not. It's time for you to pay attention to your food plots, and this is back into the connection that the controversy, if you will, the issue about baiting for white-tailed deer on private lands all over the state. Now you still can't bait for white-tailed deer on the wildlife management areas, but private land you can now. I'm not in favor of that because I'm in favor of the hunt. But a food plot's a different thing. Now, some people split hairs on that sort of thing and say, hey, you're feeding the animals by putting in a food plot. I mean, you're feeding the animals just like putting out a row of corn. No, you're not. You're not doing that. Anyway, we'll talk about that. So, hey, here's our old buddy. We've got time to talk to him, I believe. Let's talk to our old buddy, Milton Crabapple. Good morning, Milton.
O'Neill?
Yes, sir.
Milton Crabapple.
Yeah, yes, sir.
How you doing this morning?
I'm doing really good. I woke up early, and I'm ready to make radio for a little while.
Well, that sounds good to me. You're coming in loud and clear up in Crabapple.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that, too. How's life at the jail?
Listening to you, coming in over WCRB radio. Yes, sir. Anyhow, you was talking about this vacation thing.
Yes.
Going on a good vacation or a bad vacation. I'll tell you, in one of the worst places me and Ma Crabapple ever stayed.
Okay.
Now, we was driving, I believe it was somewhere up in North Tennessee. It's been a few years ago.
Uh-huh.
And it commenced to pouring down rain on us. I mean, it was raining so hard you couldn't see how to drive. Ma Crabapple said, well, we best find a place to spend the night. We'll finish the trip tomorrow. We can't drive in this rain. I said, you're right. I said, so we drove on about a mile up the road, and there was an exit up there, and there was a sign up there that said, Adult Motel.
Oh, boy.
Well, we didn't have no kids with us, so we figured that'd be a good place to stay.
Okay.
Well, we stopped in there, and I went in and went up to the desk and told the fella, I looked around, I said, me and Ma Crabapple want to get a room. He said, have you got reservations? I said, looked around, I said, well, to tell you the truth, I do, but we need a place to stay, so I reckon we'll stay here. So
Okay.
he gave us the key to the room, and we went down there, and I opened the door to go in that room. I'm telling you something, that was the strangest place I've ever been in my life.
Oh, my
O'Neill.
goodness. Hey, Milton, I want to know, if you can stick around for a few minutes, I want to know about the adult motel. Can you hold on for a minute? I've got to go to a break.
I reckon so.
Okay. Welcome back, everyone. There we are. There's the music. That means O'Neill can start talking again. It's 40 minutes after the hour. We have a few minutes here that I want to conclude and find out the story that Milton is telling. So I'm going to reintroduce Milton Crabapple. And he and Ma Crabapple have stopped at a place on a trip not long ago, and it was called the Adult Motel. So you can't leave us there, Milton. You need to tell us more about that.
Well, anyhow, like I was saying, we got us a room. That was a strange place, O'Neill.
Okay.
To start with, when we walked into the room, the first thing I noticed was the mirror. Now, the mirror weren't on the wall where it normally is. It was up on the ceiling.
Okay.
Yes, sir. You ever tried to shave laying down? I'm telling you something. That was awful. I went to brush my teeth the next morning and might near drowned it. Yes, sir. Dude said it was a good thing we didn't turn on the TV.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
But anyhow, if you ever see that place, don't ever book a vacation in that place.
Oh, I guess
Oh,
not.
sure.
That was an unusual thrill for you and Ma Crabapple, wasn't it?
No, there weren't no thrill to it at all.
Oh,
No, sir.
the adult
I couldn't
motel.
straighten my neck up for a month. But anyhow, I just wanted to touch in with you this morning. You was talking about places you stayed, and I
Well,
wanted to tell you that story.
And I do appreciate that. That's an unusual experience for sure.
Well, I went fishing yesterday, too.
Oh, you did? What happened?
Went down on the Chattahoochee River.
Okay.
Caught 4 nice stripers,
Oh.
me and a couple other fellas.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's about all there was to it.
Oh. Did you take them home and cook them?
No, sir.
Oh.
Well, one fella took one of them home, but, I got a bunch of fish in the freezer.
I see.
I don't like to overdo it. When I get
No.
down low, I'll keep some more.
There you go. Well, a striper's is a good table fish. And
It's a good one, yes, sir.
I want
Well,
to...
anyhow, I just want to touch in with you, so stop by the jail if you get a chance. We'll finish that game of checkers.
I will do, but I'm going to invite you again, please, for you to join us on our trip down to Louisiana
Well, I'll be there.
in October.
I'm going to be there. I've done got my name on the list.
Okay.
We
Okay,
catch a
I'll look
bunch of
forward to
fish
that,
down
sir.
there, don't we?
Pardon me?
I said we catch a bunch of fish down
Oh,
there.
man, yeah, and eat fresh fish for dinner every evening, huh?
That's true. That's true.
The only thing wrong with that place is that whiny New Orleans music.
And I'll tell you, they spice that stuff up, too. You have to be careful with some of that food.
Yeah, okay.
That stuff
What a
will
great
set you on
place. I'm looking
fire.
forward to you being there, Milton.
I'll see you. I'll talk to you next week.
Mighty fine. I hope so. You have a great weekend, pal. 43 after the hour, 404-872-0758 972-8255. 43 after the hour. Yes, ma'am.
I just happened to think about something since you don't have anything else to talk about.
Okay.
We had a funny experience here yesterday afternoon. Well, for one thing, we had a storm and
Oh, boy, a big one,
knocked
yeah.
out the power for about 5 hours. We were on the generator.
Mm-hmm.
But every other week, we have some 2 ladies that come clean for us. And they both smoke, so they take a break periodically and they go get out in their car and just smoke a cigarette. And so I was sitting in the den, and all of a sudden my phone rings, and I look down, and it's my cleaning lady, and I'm thinking, what is this about?
Why,
she's
she- She's
I
20
thought maybe she had left.
Yeah, she's 25 feet away in a car.
Yeah, she's just right outside the front door. And I answered the phone, and she said, "Gail, there's a bear on your front porch." And they couldn't get back in the house because the bear, they were afraid to get out of the car. The bear had walked up from behind the house up to the porch, and then she was parked next to O'Neill's truck. And the bear went behind the truck, and she couldn't tell if it was actually still on the porch or if it had taken a walk and gone down by the waterfall. So I had to go get O'Neill, and he brought out his firearm, and we scattered around the house and finally decided that the bear had gone off into the woods. But it was, it just shows you. I mean, we live up here in the wilderness. You just never know.
Yeah, we moved
That was
in
the
on
middle
him.
of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, he should be the middle of the day yesterday. That was what, like 3 in the afternoon?
Yeah, I would say.
He should be taking a nap.
Yeah,
at 3
resting
in the
up.
afternoon.
Mhm.
That or he's really hungry.
Well,
That or he's just really hungry.
they've eaten all the blackberries.
Yeah, they're gone. All the blackberries are gone.
Yeah, we never got a shot at them.
No.
But I thought that was kind of fun. It's quite a story to.
I can't come in. There's a bear.
Can you come to the door
Yeah.
and let me in?
That's right. Our little place up here in the mountains is next to the Dawson Forest, which is a wildlife management area, and it is it's home to the biggest bears in Georgia, at least. The last record bear from, I think it was during last year's season, was in the territory of 780 pounds. So there's some whoppers up here, and there's lots of it. We see a bear every day. If you're every day, you see a bear
And
wandering around.
let me qualify something. You did go get your gun, but that was
Yes.
because you didn't know what we were. We didn't know what that bear was doing because it's not supposed to be out, especially not on the front porch.
Yeah.
You know, we've never had an issue with one trying to harm anybody.
No.
But you just don't ever know.
I think they're gentle.
Well,
they,
yeah,
they
until
look
they
gentle.
They look gentle until they claw
Except
your
maybe
face
with
off.
each other. Huh?
Yeah, claw your face off.
Yeah, that's right. So, all right. It's almost 47 after the hour. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. I'd love to hear about some of your great trips. I know the trips that we've taken, Georgia State. I'm going to go to next 2 weeks. I'm going down to Crooked River State Park. It's the Crooked River, way down in southwest Georgia, along the Altamaha River. Is that the Altamaha? I think it is. And oh man, what a beautiful place. The cabins are on a cliff overlooking the river. And I'm going to go down to with Jimmy Johnson and go shark fishing. Now, if you've never done that sort of thing, let me tell you something. If you're not insistent upon fishing for billfish, marlin, stripers, things of that nature, game fish, I can tell you that if you could visit with Jimmy Johnson, he's a guide there out of Amelia Island, and what you do, the technique is you follow the shrimp boats with heavy tackle, and you signal, and they say it's okay for you to follow the boat, and you pull up alongside behind the nets, and you make a cast into the tail race water, if you will, behind the boat, the wake, and you will hook a shark every cast. There's not a single cast that you will make that you will not hook up a 60 to 100 pound shark up to, the black tips at about 100 pounds. It is a blast. So, all right, so here's a call here at 48 after the hour. This is O'Neill, and this is Jeremy. Did I get him a little early? I'm sorry. And there's Jeremy calling. Good morning, Jeremy. Where are you calling from, sir?
Good morning, O'Neill. How you doing?
Lovely.
I'm from Bethlehem, Georgia.
Okay.
My question this morning is a couple of buddies of mine, we're on a hunting lease out in Washington County, and we just come about a four-wheeler this year. We bought a new four-wheeler, and we've always walked into the stand, and I was just curious about how far would you say you can drive in on a four-wheeler to your hunting spot, or do you need to stay like a good ways away from your hunting spot, or how far about yards would you say?
Oh, you mean about where you park the four-wheeler before you get to the stand?
Yes, sir.
As much as you can stand, it would be better if you walked in. How many miles do you have to go?
We have about a 1,000-acre lease.
Uh-huh. Oh, what I would
We got
tell you
6
then,
trails, yeah.
I would tell you then, if you can, arrange a single spot to park the four-wheelers before you spread out and walk to the stands. O'Neill is overprotective about the smell and your scent.
Okay. Yes,
That's
sir.
the number one defense mechanism by the white-tailed deer, and you are correct in being concerned with that.
All right.
Because he can,
Well,
it tickles me when people say, well, nothing smelled to me. I didn't see anything running off. Well, he smelled you, a mile away. And he didn't like that smell, and he didn't come close. If it were not for the rutting activity, I think you'll agree, and I'll get you to comment, Jeremy. If it weren't for the rutting activity, you would never ever see a white-tailed deer.
Gotcha. Yes, sir.
Would you? Yeah, I mean, he would not be around ever to let his defenses down for you to be able to see him in a food plot or at a bait station or on a trail. So that's the number one. Do you wash your clothes in a scent-free wash,
yes,
like Cloak?
In a sense. Yes, sir.
I'll bet you do. I'll bet you're a good student of it. Did you have a good whitetail season last year on this piece of property?
We had a pretty decent. We have a size limit. We need to rules, and we didn't take a quality like a big buck, but we got a couple of does out of both of us. But we're hoping we got some good camera pictures this year.
Okay.
Some deer coming up, so we're hoping to get on some good ones this year.
Well, that's quite a project, and you're benefiting from it already, aren't you? It's more, isn't that fun?
Yes, sir, it is.
That is really fun. I mean, pulling the trigger on one is that, the hunt's over then. But all this other stuff that you're doing, that's fun. And get the kids involved if you can.
Oh yeah, yes, sir. We have a about to be 5-year-old. We're thinking about trying to get him out. He wants to go out and watch the deer and all that. Sit him in a ground blind.
Oh, that's terrific. That is terrific. And that you'll get a lifelong companion, and he'll be better for it.
Yes, sir.
For sure. Good question, and good luck to you.
I appreciate you answering. Thank you, sir.
You bet. I'll see you soon. Stay in touch. Stay in touch more often.
Okay.
There goes Jeremy. That's a good question. That's not just that's worthwhile conversation. How close do you get to the stand with your four-wheeler? Because believe me, the deer smell it. They smell the gasoline,
I wouldn't have thought
the
about
tires.
that, but that's true.
They smell it.
Sure.
That's why I'm saying maybe if you leave it in one spot every time, they get used to it. They're not smart enough to say, oh, well, the hunters are here. There's the four-wheelers. I smell them. Well, they can get used to that smell, and they will not find it unless somebody's sitting in it when they get shot. They will find that workable. It won't be offensive to them. So, but that's an awfully good question. He's having a lot of fun. Okay, 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. This is O'Neill with Realtree Radio. We'll be back. We have a few things to do before I get to the calls. We have a lot of them. Number one, you can visit O'Neill Outside website, O'Neill Outside, and you'll see a banner on the website for you to be awarded a Southern Grind Black and Tan knife, Jackal Black and Tan. If you'll go to O'Neill Outside, click on that banner and leave a comment, a question, an observation, and we use your comment on the air, which we would like to do, then we'll send you, or Zach Brown will send to you, a Zach Brown Jackal Southern Grind knife, and it'll be a knife you'll keep forever. This is quality stuff. Before I get to the calls, too, hats, O'Neill Outside hats that have been signed. All you have to do is go to Cherokee County Toyota or Horsetown stores. You do not have to buy anything. Just walk in and ask for a cap. They're good caps. They cost a lot of money, $3, $4. But they are signed by O'Neill. Unless you mind that, then you can get free caps. All right, what else was I going to talk about? That's all. So first of all, let's go for the Ram Fishing Report, let's go to Captain Mack. What do you say, Captain Mack? What's going on?
Good morning, O'Neill. How you doing?
Lovely. How's the fishing, sir?
All right. Fishing's good. Our stripers are a little more scattered out. We'd like them to be. Having to do a lot of hunting, a lot of moving, but a lot of fish being caught. So probably, I would say it's a little subpar for July. You know, you and I have had the conversation. I think this is the best time of year to catch a striped bass in most southern impoundments.
And that lasts until September, does it not?
Yeah, middle of September, then the lakes start turning over, and then
Uh-huh.
it gets kind of dicey. But between now and then, we have a lot of fish. When the thermocline set up in the lake, it pulls them down to the lower end of the lake, gets them deep, gets them bunched up in a nutshell. We're seeing that, but not probably to the extent we normally would. We're a little behind on the calendar, but still it's summertime fishing, herring on a down line, trolling leg core line, a lot of power reeling. So if you're going up today, all your traditional summer techniques will work. Just keep moving till you find them. Once you find them, it's as much hunting or more hunting than it is fishing right now. You got to keep, and that's always the case in summer. You got to move till you find them. Once you get them ganged up under the boat, you can do well.
Right.
If
Yeah.
you're
I
bass
mean, they're
fishing-
just fish; they will bite. But I have a question then that I've asked you many times before, and I want it to be
Okay.
a purposeful question. Do you mind if someone hires you, books you for a trip, and they say, "Now, Mac, I'd like to catch some fish today, but I want to know what to do in April, and I want to know what to do in September, and I want to know what to do in December, and I want to know in the early spring," things of that nature. Instead of catching fish that day, they can learn how to catch fish all through the year.
Not only do I not mind, O'Neill, I encourage that. I love to get people in the boat that say, we want to go to the next level. We want to take our game to the next level. We want to catch them today, but we want to know why you're doing what you're doing, why you're fishing where you're fishing, why you're fishing, how you're fishing, all those questions. And then what happens, and that's really what you just said is really important, because what we do in July and August will probably fail miserably in October and November.
Right.
Just-
Absolutely.
The techniques are seasonal and the fish move, but if you can ever get that, and I tell guys when they get in the boat this premise, once you see how they move through the year, you're probably good to go. But you can't get trapped in the same doing out of season techniques, so to speak. So yes,
Right.
I love to get those trips, and I encourage people to do that. I even tell them, bring something to write with. We might take a few minutes and use a technique that we know is probably not going to be productive, but you need to see it. So when you come back in November, or when you come back in March, or whatever the case may be. So, yeah, I think that's good. I think anytime you hire a guide, if that's your objective, you need to state that to him prior to fishing, so he'll know and he can prepare better.
That's right. That's the important part of this too. Is you should make sure that he understands that's what you want to do, because he might not want to do it.
Most guys I think are pretty willing to teach and share, but there are some that don't do that. So yeah, you need to clarify your objective. I think you'll find most people say absolutely, and I'll do everything I can to get you to that point and get you the information, the knowledge. So, but make he or she aware of that. Like I said, it enables them to do a better job. They may bring some tackle with them. I do this sometimes that you're not even going to use it, but you need to see it. I might have a guy today say, "Michael, show me how to use that planer board." We're not probably going to – that's not a primary technique, although we can do it now. You can fish deep under a planer. But the point being, I'm going to show you how to rig this planer board, so when that's the primary technique next year in April, you'll be good to go.
There you are.
That type of thing.
Well, I think that's what you should use a guide for. Which you should use a guide is that right there, and
Yes. Draw on his experience, her experience, and make that work.
And quite frankly, and then I'll let you go, the answers that you give to those questions for Lake Lanier that's the same answer at Hartwell and Clark Hill and Smith Lake and Gunnersville and all these other places too.
Yes. I mean, the basic techniques that we use on all the southern impoundments, there might be a week or two discrepancies in seasons for lakes that are a little further north, but the technique is basically the same. Tackle's the same.
The Ram Fishing Report, that's a good one. Thanks, pal.
O'Neill, have a great weekend, everybody. Get on the lake, be safe, have fun, catch fish.
You bet. See you later, pal. There you go. All right, let's see. It's 18:30 after the hour. I think Alan is up next from Lilburn. Good morning, Alan. This is O'Neill. Welcome.
Good morning, O'Neill, Miss Gill. How y'all doing?
Good.
Hello.
I hadn't talked to y'all in a while, and but I've been jitterbugging.
Really?
Yeah, I went up to. Of course, you've taught me so much over the years about how the moon affects everything. I went up to Knoxville and fished Lake Cherokee and me and my cousin at night fishing jitterbugs, hula poppers, and buzz baits. There ain't nothing like it 4 o'clock in the morning hearing that old jitterbug come across that water. And I'm talking about jitterbugs that are 25, 30 years old, not this stuff they make today, you know.
That's right. That's a heddon lure. Heddon, a heddon lure.
Well, it's the first, I guess, artificial lure I ever bought was a jitterbug.
Uh-huh.
You know, and so, but, and then, I mean, you talking about, there's nothing like night fishing, you know, on a calm lake and hearing that thing come across that water and they hear that big old splash, you know. So it was something else. It was a great experience. But the one biggest thing that's kept me off from talking to y'all is I've been trying to get this house ready to put on the market.
Uh-huh.
It's time to leave. It's time to leave Lilburn. You know, Snellville and Lilburn ain't the same place that we grew up. Our kids grew up in back in the early '80s.
That is
It's changed
correct.
a lot. So it's time for me to pack up and go down where my grandbabies are.
And where's that?
Tallahassee.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I'm not real crazy about going to Tallahassee, but that's where my babies are. Jason is the assistant director for emergency management for the state of Florida.
Oh, boy.
It's time to. I mean, I ain't like crazy about going, but that's where my babies are. That's where I got to go.
Well, there's some good lakes down there. You can catch a fish down there, too.
Oh yeah, there's Jackson. You know, Jackson had a big sinkhole come in it years ago, and they let the grass grow up in, and they about got it back. And then, of course, there's no other lake in Georgia that I like better than Lake Seminole. I mean,
I
it's
know it.
Unbelievable. And then, of course, you got Lake Talcum, and of course, I like the smaller ponds too. Anyway, and you know, I'm a big bass fisherman, and you know, I catch them, let them go right back because I just can't take a bass out of the water. You know.
I understand. Well, good
But,
luck to you. You stay in touch and keep us up to date, will you?
Yeah, I just want to tell you, I saw Scott Keller the other day, and we were talking about these feeders, you know, that it passed the other day, and we were both disappointed, but that sucker went right out and built him some, and he got him up here on his property in Elberton, him and his son, you know, but I just want to tell you, I seen him the other day, and he's doing good, so, but I just want to holler at y'all, and I sure appreciate everything you've taught me over the years.
Well, you're very kind. You stay in touch. We'll have other conversations.
All right, buddy. God bless y'all, too.
You bet. See you later, my good friend. 21 and a half after the hour. We've got to go to a break now. The rest of you guys hold on. I'll do my best to get to you. And at 22, at 25, in 3 minutes, we'll have the Silent Hero Award, or account, if you will, the Silent Hero account. And then we'll be getting to the calls. This is O'Neill. Time for the Silent Hero account. San Francisco, an off-duty fire captain helped police save a struggling swimmer when he stumbled upon the scene. San Francisco Fire Department Captain Thomas Johannesson was swimming when he saw the San Francisco Police Department Marine unit attempting to help a distressed swimmer. Johannesson swam over to the scene and immediately began helping the crews guide the swimmer. The swimmer was unconscious, so if it weren't for him, he would be gone. The crews immediately began CPR after Johannesson and the other responders pulled him onto a platform behind the police department boat. They were able to restart the swimmer's heart. He had died when they arrived back on shore. And he said, did Thomas Johannesson, that's what public servants do. Public servants take the job because they want to help. He was off duty.
That's exactly right. That
And
is what they do. I mean,
that's
why in the
exact-
world would you do that job for such a little amount of pay that they get compared to what they do?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this was a firefighter,
Yeah, this firefighter swimming.
but he got somebody out of the
got
out
somebody
of the
out
water,
of the water. Isn't that
saved
something?
their life. Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing.
So, okay, 27 after the hour. We've got a lot of calls we want to receive here. First of all, the response you got on Facebook about the fact that you don't see deer if you don't have a food plot.
I
I said
Yeah.
without the rut, you wouldn't see any whitetail deer. And they
yeah,
said they see them at night.
yeah, they have I think they deliver papers,
Mhm.
and she said almost as soon as you said that, two huge whitetail bucks ran in front of the car, and then I think the night before she had seen two female deer, and then the night before that she saw I guess a mama deer and a fawn or something, and she said
My
that they
point
see them
was-
all the time at
My
night.
point was, yes, you will see them at night, but unless you have a food plot or something that where the does can visit and the bucks follow them during the rut, then a white-tailed deer is practically a nocturnal animal. Unless you have a food plot or something of that nature to attract the deer, you're not going to see them during the day. It's kind of tough to hunt whitetail in the middle of the night. Matter of fact, it's illegal. Okay. Let's who's up
Do
next
you,
here? Let's
do you,
talk.
I have another one when you're ready
Okay,
about a
let
vacation
me get
spot.
to Jim. He's
Okay.
been holding on quite a while. Good morning, Jim. This is O'Neill. You're on the radio. Welcome.
Good morning to you and Lady Williams, and happy 53rd anniversary.
Thank you
I
very
think
much.
That is
You're very
a
kind.
testament to the both of you.
Thank you
I
very
have a
much.
question for you right quick.
Okay.
I have a couple of members who are not real happy, but I don't really care because we don't bake, and they're talking about the nutritional benefit of corn over food plots, which I don't agree with, and I'd like to have your opinion on that. And then I have another comment.
That is correct. A diet of heavy corn usage and corn on the ground in the feeder actually is detrimental to the overall balanced diet of the white-tailed deer, and it grinds down his teeth and it shortens his life. That's an unnatural way for him to be fed. That's not, and quite frankly, there's a lesson in there that a deer I know will walk past corn to get to acorns. They're much softer, and that's a more natural food. You're right not to care. A food plot's the best idea. If you want a place that is nutritional year-round, the food plot ideas, and all you have to do is call the Whitetail Institute, and there's a real live person that will answer the phone there and tell you what you need to do, how you need to fertilize, everything about it.
Right. We've done that, and that's what we're fixing to do. We got a couple that we're watching, so what we have done is we have bought 3 drones, and there's 3 of us, and we patrol the area
Good
to
for
see
you.
what they're doing around their areas, to see if they're putting any of that in. So that's one thing that I guess, and you might say technology and the advancement of
Oh boy,
observation has come to help us, so that's what we're doing too.
that's fun.
Well, it is, but you have to be careful a little bit. But that's just something that we came up with. We said, hey, we might as well make use of it, and that's what we did. We didn't buy expensive ones, but we did get 3 of them, and there's 3 of us going out there patrolling the area because about 2 years ago we had 2 guys that decided it was okay to do it. We happened to be going around the property and found it, and we called them and asked them to come down the property, and we just helped them bag their stuff up and get the Dickinson Tom Bell out of there. And we did call our local warden, Freddie Hayes, and told him what was going on. He met us. He saw that we cleaned it up and everything else, and we were okay, good to go, because he said, I know that y'all pretty mean on that stuff. I said, well,
That's
we
great.
just don't believe
That's
in
good
it.
to hear. That's good to
So-
hear. More people should be doing the same thing. Absolutely.
Thank you very much. And like I say to you and Lady Williams, congratulations. I hope you're another 53. And
Me
thank you
too.
for taking my call.
All right. I appreciate you being a listener to the program. It means a lot to us. Thank you so much. All right, let's see who's up next. I've got the timing on this. Let's talk to Brian since we're on that subject. Let's talk to Brian. He's on O'Neill outside. Good morning, Brian. The radio show's all yours. What do you say?
Good morning. I feel like I think on the bait issue, I think the split that we have on it is not is more on a monetary level, I guess, because I hear people talk about that they're against baiting, and some people say they're for it. Now, I've got friends of mine who they're on large clubs. Some of them have money. They're able to get out. They have time where they can get out and plant food plots, and that's great. Me and a lot of other guys, however, we work, 70, 80 hours a week. We want to take our kids hunting too. I don't have time to go put out corn all the time. If I could go put out corn all the time, I guess I'd afford the time to plant a food plot. That is if you have a tract of land large enough and you have trees, or you have, I've got a weed eater utensil to plant little food plots and multiple planted pines. And two of the places I have don't even have an oak tree on it. But I've got 3 daughters that hunt with me. And if I'm going to get a chance to go hunt with them next weekend, I will go put out some corn with a hose, and they go see a deer instead of going sitting looking at pine needles. Now, I know that you take all these trips to Costa Rica and all these people call saying they're against baseball and kick people out of their clubs for doing it. That's fine. That's them. But I don't appreciate the fact that you use your platform, or anybody else can sit there and say, well, I know it's legal. I don't agree with it, and you're wrong for it.
Well, yeah.
I'm a veteran. Why are my freedoms not the same as yours? How are you able to dictate what I can do now that it's lawful? I can understand when it was unlawful. I was against it too because it was unlawful. I thought it should be lawful. Now that it is, people are, they just don't condone it. That's fine on your property. But to stay on your platform and put everybody else down, you're not in everybody's shoes. The way I look at it now is you're not the common man. You're not the average person out here. There's a lot of guys I know that have money. They are the ones to look down on. The guys that the hardworking individuals out there who are on limited hunting basis prefer to use corn. So therefore, we're divided on a monetary issue. And the fact that now that after listening to all your comments, I don't see you as the common man. Once this fall is over with, I'm no longer going to, look at your radio station. And the fact that you support, who you're supporting for the governor's race, I'm going to go to Kemp because you support his opponent. And that's how divided we are. We're not the same people. You might as well be a Democrat as far as I'm concerned.
I'm not sure I picked up the entire conversation there, Brian, but my feeling is to each his own. Whether you've put in food plots or hunt over corn, for my own purposes, the food plot's the best idea. If your personal situation dictates that you use corn or some of the kind of supplemental feeders so that you can harvest deer and make a successful hunt, that's cool for me. So to each his own. I don't agree personally over the long term that that's the way you should hunt, but that's okay. I'm not nobody's wrong, nobody's totally right or totally wrong. Each to his own preference, and if that gets you into the woods and gets you hunting with your family, your children, your sons and daughters, then that's fine with me.
Well, when you say long term, I understand that. If somebody's going out there and they're buying, hundreds of pounds of corn a week to put out in these feeders and everything else, if they've got that time to keep the feeders full, buy the feeders, and buy that much corn, well, they can afford to do food plots. I understand that, and they've got the time to do it. But the vast majority of us don't.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. That is true.
Right. So it's either, hey, take advantage of this, or why hunt? Like you said, hey, if it wasn't for the rut, you're not going to see any deer except at night, which is easy.
That's correct.
So you've got to increase the odds in your favor every bit that you can for the limited time that you have with your kids to be in the woods. And to have someone on the platform with the radio or people calling in going, hey, we're getting rid of guys in our club because we don't agree with it. I understand that. That's their club. I've got 5 spots to hunt. The largest one's 10 acres. Most of them are pines. I'm limited. I'm limited on the amount of deer.
Right.
And there's only so many times your kids will go sit with you and say, well, give me my Game Boy, let me play because I'm bored sitting here. You take them 7 or 8 times, get up early in the morning, or, take them in the evening. They're missing out on, playing video games. To sit there and stand with you to bond and go, you see that squirrel? Look at that squirrel. See that bird? But no deer.
Brian, hey, listen, I understand. I got some more calls I need to take. I do appreciate your calling, and I appreciate your position on it. Everybody's situation is different. And so this change in the law makes it lawful for people to do that, and if they choose to do so, they certainly can. And I hope you have a great deer season when it comes up. Right now it's 36:45. I have to get out of here for a break. My next Keith will come up after the Medal of Honor. Everybody hold on. This is O'Neill. Garland Connor, 1st Lieutenant, U.S. Army, France, 1945. German forces counterattacked the front left flank of the 7th Regiment with 600 troops and tanks. Lieutenant Connor, recently returning from a wound, immediately volunteered to run straight into the heart of the enemy to assault to get to a position from which he could direct friendly artillery on the advancing enemy forces. With complete disregard for his own safety, Lieutenant Connor maneuvered 400 yards through enemy artillery while unrolling telephone wire needed to communicate with the battalion command post. He moved forward under the enemy assault to a position 30 yards from the front of the defending U.S. forces, where he plunged into a shallow ditch that provided minimal protection from the advancing enemy's heavy machine gun and small arms fire. With rounds impacting all around him, Lieutenant Connor calmly directed multiple fire missions, adjusting round after round artillery until the enemy was forced to halt. For 3 hours, Lieutenant Connor remained in this position, enduring the repeated onslaught of Germans, which at one point advanced to within 5 yards of his position. As German infantry regrouped and began to mass in an overwhelming assault, Lieutenant Connor ordered friendly artillery to concentrate directly on his own position, having resolved to die if necessary to destroy the enemy advance. Ignoring the friendly artillery shells blanketing his position and exploding mere feet from him, Lieutenant Connor continued to direct artillery fire on the enemy assault swarming around him until the German attack was finally broken. By his heroism and disregard for his own life, Lieutenant Connor stopped the enemy advance. The artillery he expertly directed killed over 50 German soldiers and wounded an estimated 100 more. His actions are in keeping with the highest traditions of military service. Garland Connor died May the 11th, 2018.
This was a World War II?
World War II,
Like,
France,
yeah.
1945.
Yeah. They're dying off fast.
Yes, indeed.
Fast.
Okay, quickly, let's chat with Hank. Good morning. What do you say, Hank the Yank?
Who's this? Is this O'Neill?
Yes, it is.
Or is this the Bugman?
Bugman 2.
The Bugman 2.
Yeah, what's going on?
Well, what's going on? Well, I've got some good fishing for you.
Good.
You ready for a good fishing report?
I am indeed.
Okay. Well, I want you to know that, first of all, the carp fishing down the Chattahoochee River has been okay when you get the right conditions. I took a very old guy out the other day, a guy by the name of Hal Coleman. And we got to go. We just didn't have the right conditions.
Oh.
Unfortunately, Lanier is so high this year, it has been, that they're pulling so much water out of Lanier down the 32-mile stretch of the Chattahoochee, and then Morgan Falls is just letting it run right through. So, unfortunately, it's been a little tough to get those conditions. However, that being said, when the conditions are right, the carp fishing actually is very, very good this year. But I'll tell you what the highlight of the season has been is the striped bass in the river.
Oh,
there
boy.
are stripers throughout the entire Chattahoochee River system through downtown Atlanta up to Morgan Falls Dam, and then again above Lanier all the way up to Helen, Georgia. There are reports that guys are catching anywhere from 5, 10, up to 35 fish per outing in boats, fishing below Morgan Falls, and then double-digit numbers up along the Helen Highway. So the fish are spreading out, and there's just tons. If you're going to try fishing in the river right now is the time to be fishing for Chattahoochee stripers right now.
That's fabulous.
The water's cool, cold, and the fishing is wonderful.
Okay, how are you catching them?
We're catching them on fly rod, but guys can catch them using flukes if you want to spin fish. A fluke is always a good lure to catch them, or a sabile. We're catching them on intermediate, slow-sinking lines and big clouds or minnows and game changers and flies like that. But the fly fishing has just been nothing short. Matter of fact, listen how good it is. Your buddy Fluffy, your financial advisor Fluffy, went out yesterday and landed 9 stripers on flies in the Chattahoochee River yesterday below Morgan Falls.
That breaks my heart because Fluffy doesn't have time to do that sort of thing.
Well, you know, he told me you have so much money now that he has more time to go fishing.
I'm just proud that he spends enough time with my meager little funds so that it makes me feel important.
Well, you know, he told me that while your funds may not be doing as well as he suspected, the fees you're paying allowed him to buy a new boat and motor.
That's exactly right, yeah. What a great report. Hank the Yank, man. Hey, that's a good one because that's new and exciting, and striped bass in the Chattahoochee River from above Lake Lanier all the way down past and including Morgan Falls Dam. What a great idea.
And all the way down into the city of Atlanta. And, you know, Neil, while this continues, the nice thing is that when you release these fish, they swim away healthy because they're in cool, oxygenated water, as opposed to the ones in Lanier, which probably in the next month are not going to do very well.
Yeah, they'll be down at 100 feet.
Exactly. You got to kind of lay off those fish in August and September.
Great.
So
great report, my good friend.
I'll speak to you guys next week. You guys have a good one.
You bet. Thanks a lot. There you go. There you go. I know how to do that. Now I want to introduce everyone to my friend Keith Frazier. And he indeed created something that I bought, that I used. And how did you come up with what do you call it?
Well, it's called the Groundhog Max. You know, it's an ATV, UTV disc plow. And I came up with it for, you know, the guy that don't have a lot of money, that don't have a tractor, most everybody has an ATV of some sort or a UTV. You know, to be able to put in a remote food plot, you know, way back in the woods somewhere, you know, just with the equipment that they already had, you know, trying to look at this cost-effective end of deer hunting. You know, some of us don't have all the money that others do.
Yeah. Well, I remember that you put in used the groundhog. Remember that where I hunt over there in East Georgia, and you plowed up the logging road.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's for remote food plots that you can't get to, you know, and to me, you know, I like hunting a green field too, like everybody else does, but a remote food plot, you know, way back on a cutover or something next to a deer's, you know, a big buck's bedroom, we'll say, he's way more likely to come out in that during shooting hours than he is to walk out on a green field, you know, unless it's the rut. I mean, it's a big difference.
Sure. When
the rut's going on, but it's good to, you know, to add. I know we got some of the stuff been going on about corn and baiting and all that other good stuff. You know, to me, it's way more cost effective to put in, you know, this plow, you know, like right now it's on sale, you know, at some Tractor Supplies, Bass Pros, those kind of places. This is the best time of the year to buy it. It's like $300 that it includes the kit. So you make a $300 investment. If you've already got an ATV or any kind of power source, really, you go in there and you put you in a remote food plot and plant it, and you can do it over and over. You know, you can do it a couple of times a year and then have it really juiced up and sauced up for the fall when you're going to hunt over it. And, you know, to me, that's way better than, you know, putting out piles of corn going in and out your property all the time, disturbing your property.
That's right. I agree. Well, some people can't do any of that, and they put out the corn, and that's okay. But this thing that you invented, how long ago was that, Keith?
Well, it's longer ago than you think. You know, we haven't done a real good job with advertising. I mean, we did with you there for a while back in the early days, but it's kind of a word-of-mouth thing. But we sell thousands of these things a year, and I think we started with you back in 2003 or 4, and we've really sold it real well since 2007. You know, we sell thousands of these things a year. It's not a new thing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of a lot of guys haven't heard about it yet.
Right. Well, that's what we're trying to do, to, you know, get you on the air right here. And so that everybody understands, it's called what?
It's called the Groundhog Max ATV UTV disc plow.
Okay.
And the website for it is www.groundhogmax.com. And one of the most asked questions for your listeners there and for everybody is, will it fit my machine? Because this thing, the concept of it is it works off of a square 2-inch receiver like is on your pickup truck.
Mm-hmm.
So you can buy, you know, of course, some ATVs and UTVs have one, and it's just plugged right in there and you're ready to go. Then other ATVs, you might have let's say you have a Yamaha or something along those lines, you may have to buy an aftermarket 2-inch receiver, and you can buy those year, make, and model specific, from online sources, if you will. And then our kit, also you can buy it with our kit in the box, and it fits the majority of all Hondas and Polarises and a lot of others too. You take that kit and it converts your existing utility hole over to a strong square receiver, like you would need to plug this thing in. And that's what it works on. You actually, back your ATV up on a ramp, or what most guys use is a 4x4, plug the plow in, put a tractor pin in it, let the plow down to the ground with another, take a tractor pin out, let the plow disc assembly down to the ground, maybe pull it up 1 notch the first time you use it, put your tractor pin back in, and when you back off the block, that's where the weight transfer comes in. You're actually riding on the plow like a fifth wheel. So instead of fooling with putting cinder blocks and weights and all that good stuff on the plow, you're actually using the weight of the person, which is about 200 pounds, we'll say, and then the weight of the ATV, which is 700 or 800 pounds. Or if you're using a UTV, you're using 1,500 pounds of weight, and it's just much easier to use and much more cost effective.
You bet it is. It's a great invention, I tell you what, and you only need one.
Right. Yep. And,
it'll last you forever.
We sell parts, and if you ever have a bearing go bad, you can get those there like $6 a piece. One of the biggest selling things of this people don't realize, I think, O'Neill, is it allows the use of smaller air-cooled machines. In other words, some of these other plows, if you read the fine print on a pull-behind, it says 400 cc liquid-cooled or larger. On this plow, since you're able to plow maybe 7 miles an hour, even the smaller two-wheel drive air-cooled only units, you're able to plow fast enough that even an air-cooled unit stays cool, and, you don't have to worry about burning your engine up.
Right. Well, I wanted everybody to know about it. I used it, and I use other equipment too for larger pieces. But if I need to plow and prepare a spot that's 4 feet wide and 40 feet long, and that's all, then this is what I use.
Right. Yeah. It's
place. It'll go where nothing else will go.
Right. And, of course, if guys don't have a tractor, they got the time, they can put in a bigger food plot. There's not a problem with that. But like you said, it's designed for that, for putting in duck holes. And, I wanted to tell my customers out there that may be listening here that, sometimes the old too wet to plow comes into play with a guy trying to put in a duck hole, or he's trying to plow Georgia red clay when it's a little bit wet. We do have a do-it-yourself fix for clogging, because if you're doing that too wet to plow, you know how guys are, they're impatient. They're gonna plow whether it's wet, dry, or whatever, and in those conditions it'll plow. And for about, if they'll get with it, on the website there's about a $10 or $12 fix with some baling wire that they can do themselves that'll make it so you can plow completely clog-free, even in wet conditions. So
all right, I got to go, Keith. Well, we're about to wind up a Saturday morning for O'Neill Outside and Real Tree Radio. Let's finish up right now with Larry. He's calling on O'Neill Outside. Good morning, Larry.
Hi there. How you doing?
Good.
Hey, I got a question and a comment.
Okay.
Question is, I thought earlier you said something about October in Louisiana. Are you organizing some sort of a trip, or is it just?
I go every year to Cajun Vista Lodge. You can look it up there or at NewOrleansFishing.com. It's a place called Cajun Vista Lodge, and I take a group there every year. And this year we'll be going there for October the 4th through the 10th, 2 3-day trips. And if you look it up and give them a call and say you just want to join the O'Neill group, they'll know all about it. I've got the whole lodge reserved for people like yourself.
Yeah, okay. No, I hear you talk about it quite a bit. But earlier I heard you mention something about October. So yeah, I'd like to do that. So
that's probably. Please do if you can. Cajun Vista Lodge, and where the Mississippi dumps in there close to the Atchafalaya Basin. Without bragging, that is the #1 inshore saltwater fishing destination on the coast of North America.
Yeah, I'm up here in Missouri, right on the Mississippi. I just float right on down there, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
The other thing is a comment. You know, you've expanded your broadcast to many states now.
Yes.
Have you thought about or given any thought to periodically, you know, weekly, once a month, twice, whatever, having somebody from one of those states, like you do with your DNR occasionally, have them on there and talk about what's going on in their state, how hunting is, how fishing is, some of the rule changes, and not be just Atlanta.
Yes.
I know a lot of things you talk about in Georgia apply to throughout the country, but there are specific things that happen in each state.
That's an excellent suggestion, and we have thought about that, but we have not been able to have the time to implement it. The radio show is going to go live on television real soon. Hey, pal, Larry, call back, and I'll get to you earlier next time, okay? I got to go.
You guys be good.
You bet. See you later. This is O'Neill. If you're too busy to go fishing and take a kid along, you're too busy. So for Gail, Karen, Brian, Jason, and O'Neill, we'll see you next week.